Under ideal conditions, these are the facts. Miami Dolphins are a 3-point favorite over the Washington Redskins. They're similar teams. They both like to stay on the ground first, then go to the pass. They both love their defense. The winners today will go home with $36,000 per man. The losers earn $18,000. Those are the facts. Merlin Olsen, the feelings.
Feelings are that the waiting is almost over. Washington has waited 10 years to get here, and of course the Miami Dolphins have waited 9 years to get back to here. And all of the pain and all the preparation this week, it's a matter of getting out on the field and kicking it off. It's time to go to work.
It's a spectacular introduction of the flags of the NFL, the NFC, the AFC, and here they are now, presented by the Golden Knights World Championship U.S. Army team. The first has landed. Based in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, presenting the colors of the NFC, the AFC, the NFL, plus Washington, Miami, the Super Bowl itself. Here comes the Redskins. Gonfalon. These men and women have won 41 national titles, 8 world championships. They're the Army's counterpart to the Navy's Blue Angels and the Air Force's Thunderbirds. And judging by the crowd reaction, it's going to be a Washington Redskin crowd. There appear to be much more vocal support for the Redskins and anything that represents the Washington NFC team over the Miami club.
We now direct your attention to the north end of the bowl for the player introductions. Here is Dick Enberg of NBC Sports.
Introducing the Miami defensive starting lineup, the AFC champion Dolphins. At left end, from Nevada, Reno, number 75, Doug Betters. The nose tackle from Alabama, number 73, Bob Baumhauer. At right end, from San Jose State, number 58, Kim Bokamper. The linebackers for Miami from Ohio State, number 59, Bob Brudzinski. Inside linebacker from LSU, number 77, A.J. Dewey. Also inside linebacker, Henderson State of Arkansas, number 55, Ernest Roan. Right linebacker from Arizona State, number 50, Larry Gordon. The cornerbacks for Miami at left cornerback, number 48 from San Jose State, Gerald Small. And at right cornerback from Alabama, number 28, Don McNeil. Strong safety for Miami from the University of Texas, number 47, Glenn Blackwood. And at free safety from TCU, number 42, Lyle Blackwood. Presenting head coach Don Shula and the remainder of the AFC champions, the Miami Dolphins. Introducing the starting defensive unit for the NFC champion Washington Redskins. At left end, from Brigham Young University, number 76, Matt Mendenhall. At left tackle from Purdue, number 65, Dave Butts. The right tackle from Rice, number 77, Darrell Grant. At right end, from Oklahoma State, number 72, Dexter Manley. The Redskin linebackers on the left side, from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, number 55, Mel Kaufman. The middle linebacker from Maryland, number 52, Neil Olkowitz. Right linebacker from Penn State, number 57, Rich Malott. The cornerbacks for Washington on the left side, from the University of Hawaii, number 45, Jarris White. Right cornerback from San Diego State, number 32, Vernon Dean. The safety, strong safety from Oklahoma, number 23, Tony Peters. And the free safety from Colgate, number 29, Mark Murphy. Head coach and coach of the year in the NFL, Joe Gibbs, and the rest of the NFC champion, Washington Redskins.
Bring your attention to the center of the field for the toss of the coin. Entering from the Dolphins bench area, referee Jerry Markbright, and entering from the Redskins sideline, let's have a Super Bowl welcome for former Rams great, Hall of Famer, Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch. Let's listen to referee Jerry Markbright as he talks to the Dolphin and Redskin captains.
First. Captains, introduce yourselves, please. I'm going to show them. Good to see you, Jerry. It's good to see you, man. Yeah, all right, you too. I'll go there. Gentlemen, Elroy Hirsch is going to toss the coin. The side with the two helmets is the heads. Who's going to call the toss? Number 67 calls the toss. Go ahead. Tails. Tails is the call. Heads. Washington wins the toss.
Tails. Nope. That's tails. You said the other side. No, you said the other side was tails.
Tails.
You take the ball. You take the ball.
So some confusion as to what is heads and what is tails. Of course, they're not using a conventional coin, but a Super Bowl commemorative coin, and it's not quite as clearly indicated which is heads or which is tails. Washington Redskins then have won the toss. And the biggest name, as they'll get the ball first, number 44, John Riggins. They've been talking about him all week long, Merlin.
Dick, we've talked all week about the importance of Riggins to this offense. And certainly, the question will be answered early. Can Miami's Killer Bees stop John Riggins?
All right, Bill Arnsparger, the defensive coordinator. They call him the genius behind that Miami defensive plan that led the NFL during the course of the year. How will they try to stop Riggins?
Well, they'll try and do it with their regular defensive scheme. Certainly, that's not going to be easy. Riggins has not been stopped in any of the 3 playoff games to date. But if they can't stop him with their regular line up front and the help of their linebackers, they'll have to utilize their safeties, Dick.
So if they fail, we'll see more of the Blackwoods involved in the defensive scheme. All right, if they're successful, what will Joe Gibbs do?
Well, if they can stop Riggins, they have forced Gibbs to make adjustments in his offense. I would expect to see Joe Washington, and certainly would expect to see the ball in the air from Theismann more.
So in a beautiful setting on this late January day, late afternoon in Southern California, it is the Redskins apparently who will kick off first. So that information was as confusing as the toss of the coin.
Eddie Hill, number 31, Fulton Walker.
Fulton Walker, number 41 deep. Jeff Hayes to kick it off for Washington. And Super Bowl 17 underway. It comes down short. And stopped at the 25-yard line. The Miami Dolphins offense as Clarence Harmon makes the tackle. David Woodley is the quarterback. And with him, Tony Nathan, an excellent pass receiver. Andre Franklin, 3rd in the National Football League in rushing the football. The wide receivers are Duriel Harris, Jimmy Cephalo, the tight end Bruce Hardy, one of 3 tight ends that will be used by Miami during the course of the day. Dwight Stevenson has had a brilliant playoff. The center, Giesler and Loxo are the tackles, Kuchenberg and Taves the guards. First down Miami at the 25-yard line. That's Rose in motion, so he starts at tight end. Woodley almost intercepted by the Redskins. Mark Murphy was the last man who had his hands on it. It was intended for Tony Nathan.
Number 29, Mark Murphy, the man who calls the defenses. He's the general on that side. But the pass was batted by Rich Malott, number 57. You see him there on Tony Nathan. Now watch him go up into the air. Actually, Nathan's the man that skipped the ball off. Could not hang on to the football. Okowicz dropping back from his middle linebacking position. Also part of it, tapped it there. But it was Murphy that almost came up with the interception, Dick.
Second down, 10, 25-yard line. We're using 2 tight ends. Hardy left, Rose right. The big fullback, Franklin, short yardage, ran right into 295-pound Dave Butts and the middle linebacker, Neil Okowicz. The defensive alignment for the Washington Redskins. They allowed less points than anyone in the NFL. Mendenhall and Manley are on the ends. Butts and Grant are the tackles. 4-3 set. The linebackers, Olkowitz, the middle backer, with Kaufman and Malott on the outside. Cornerbacks, Juris White, former Dolphin. Rookie Vernon Dean at the corners. Peters on his way to the Pro Bowl, and Murphy, the captain, are at safety. Out of the shotgun. 3rd and 9 from the 26. Woodley hit from behind, scampers, and slides to the 33 short of the first down. Monty Coleman, number 51, linebacker, comes in pass situations. Woodley appeared to have misjudged where that first down marker was.
Actually, Dick, what happened to Woodley was he lost his feet driving for the first down. You'll have a chance to see it. One of the things that makes Dave Woodley such a valuable quarterback is his running ability. Gets Manley over the top there, but gets away. Now watch him. He'll try to cut here and just loses his feet on the inside. Turf a little bit loose at that point on the field, Dick.
Tom Oros, who did not have a good day last week against the Jets, to kick. Mike Nelms, a Pro Bowler. They regard him as the best kick return man in the NFL, his peers. Oros gets away a good kick. Nelms at the 24. And finally dragged down about the 28-yard line. A good coverage by the Dolphins. 44-yard kick, about a 5-yard return. And Washington has the ball for the first time, and Joe Theismann, the quarterback. Theismann has with him John Riggins. Sometimes we'll see Joe Washington pass situations. The receivers, Garrett, only 1 catch during the year, and brilliant in the playoffs. Brown, a Pro Bowler. The tight end is Warren. We'll see Rick Walker as well at tight end. Those are the Hogs, the big offensive linemen. Jacoby and Sark at tackle. The guards are Grimm and May, and Bostic the center. First down from the 28. Walker with a tight end motion, and Riggins right up the middle. Powers for 5. Now that was no surprise. They gave it to Riggins, and he had a good gain on first down before Dewey could make the tackle. The Killer Bees, they call themselves, because of all the names that start with B, and there are 3 of them. Baumhauer, the nose tackle, a Pro Bowler. Doug Betters and Kim Bocamper are the ends. Brudzinski and Gordon on the outside. Dewey and Roan, the leading tackler, on the inside. Small and McNeil, the cornerbacks, and the Blackwoods are at safety. Second and 5. Riggins close to a first down as he slams to the 38. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Up in the middle of the line for the Hogs, number 53, Jeff Bostic, working on 73, Bob Baumhauer. Bostic is a position blocker. Look at him go for the inside position. He's got Baumhauer off the line, just locks him up there, and all Riggins needs is a little crack. 3rd and just a fraction. Let's see what they do in short yardage.
Otis Wansley, 39, comes in as a blocking back for Riggins in this situation. And Riggins follows Wansley across the 40 for a first down. It's a Redskin crowd. First down at the 41-yard line. Baumhauer made the tackle.
We've talked about the physical nature of the Blackwood brothers, Dick. Number 42, Lyle Blackwood, coming up aggressively to dump one of the Redskins on his back. But I'm afraid it's the Redskins who win the war on that battle as they pick up the first down.
First down at the 41. Washington taking the ball for the first time after Miami received the kickoff. The flanker screen to Charlie Brown. Gets a block. He's to the 50. He's to the Miami 48. First down. 12 yards before Ernest Roan could chase him down.
Chance to be part of the action. Those of you at home or watching elsewhere, Charlie Brown comes across in motion. They're trying to create some confusion so they can take advantage of it with a quick screen here. Fully half of the passes for Washington on first down are of the screen variety, but watch the quickness of Brown here as he eludes the defenders and uses his running ability to get extra yardage before Ernest Roan, number 55, finally drags him down.
Brown in motion, first down at the Miami 48. Riggins tripped up, a good knifing defensive play by 59, Bob Brzezinski. Ohio State All-American, a #1 draft pick of the Rams in 1977, and traded as an unhappy Ram to Miami, where he said he is more than pleased.
Dick, you asked me how they were going to stop Riggins. One of the ways they will try and do that is by using stunts and games up front with the linebackers and the linemen. You saw Brzezinski rushing in on that play. He was able to get back and take Riggins' legs out from underneath him. Passing set in the game now. Riggins has come to the sideline.
So the 2nd and 9 brings Joe Washington and Harmon into the game. And Theismann dropping. Deep down the middle. Incomplete for Alvin Garrett. And broken up by Glenn Blackwood. Number 47, he's the younger of the two Blackwoods, University of Texas.
Alvin Garrett, number 47, one of the Smurfs, and he's quickly downfield. Theismann has time to throw the football, looks first to his left and then rifles it downfield. Watch number 47 right there. Comes across, gets a piece of the football and a bigger piece of Alvin Garrett.
And it appeared that Garrett had beaten his man Small, but Blackwood came over to save it for Miami. It's 3rd and 9. Theismann. He is sacked at the 46 of Washington. Ernest Roan, 55. Leading tackler for the Dolphins last year and again this season.
Number 55, Ernest Roan, coming from his inside linebacking position, looping around number 73, Bob Baumhauer. Take it down at the line of scrimmage. Now watch Theismann. The pressure will come from slightly from his left. Getting pressure on the outside here from Bo Camper, who's driven by. That's Dewey coming. Now that's Betters from the other side, but it's Ernest Roan right up the middle. Lands on top of the quarterback. They'll have to kick it away.
Jeff Hayes, last in the NFC with a 38-yard average this year. Free agent rookie from North Carolina. And he hammers a beauty into the end zone. And Miami on the touchback will take it at the 20-yard line. A 54-yard punt by Hayes. From the 20, no score, first quarter. Tony Nathan trying to get to the 25-yard line. Mendenhall, Olkowitz, and plenty of white jerseys to help out.
Dick, one of the things that the Redskins players talked about is that they would much rather see the ball in the hands of Tony Nathan than Andre Franklin. And their reasoning is that Nathan has had a tendency to be a little careless with the football. They feel if he carries it quite often, they'll be able to knock it loose and perhaps pick up a fumble.
Nathan, who had an injury-plagued year, was not up to the character of his past seasons, but has had a good playoff. 2nd down and 6 at the 24. 8:28 left, first quarter. That's Hardy in motion. And wide open is Cephalo at the 50. Could go all the way. 40, 25, 15, and Miami has a touchdown. It appeared that Woodley was going to throw a short screen to the tight end.
Cephalo one-on-one coverage from Peters, and Peters simply cannot catch up. Number 23, the man behind him. Cephalo uses his speed to get him into the end zone, and the one thing Washington wanted to see happens. They get burned with a long pass.
Von Schaman, who has been bothered by a painful back injury. Picks it through, and Miami has a 7-point lead.
We talked about the fact that the Redskins wanted to make Woodley throw the ball deep. They wanted to force him to throw deep. And here he is, responding very successfully to Jimmy Cephalo on downfield for the touchdown.
8 minutes, 11 seconds into the first quarter. Miami 7, Washington nothing. During the course of this week, they kidded Jimmy Cephalo that he didn't have major league speed. He said, hey, I ran a 9.8 in high school, and he certainly ran away from the Redskins.
Well, he's one of those people we talk about where we'll take performance over potential or over talent. He sure gave you performance on that play.
I was 4 yards shy of the Super Bowl record. Plunkett to King, 80 yards. You saw earlier in the day on NFL 82. Short kick. Nelms at the 11, 20, 30. Look at him go. 40 and all the way to midfield. Mike Nelms.
There's a penalty flag on the field, Dick. But what a great return by Mike Nelms. Tackled by William Judson, number 49. And Nelms has to be one of the most important offensive weapons on the field. 76 yards last week on a kickoff return. A great return here. They're going to march it back, unfortunately, as the Miami Dolphin defense gets a break that would have put Washington in great field position to start this drive.
Jerry Markbright, his first Super Bowl.
Illegal block, number 56 on the run back. First down.
So 56, Quentin Lowry, guilty of the foul.
Perhaps we'll be able to see it. There it is right there. The shot on the back. Now not allowed to take the man on the backside, and Lowry ticketed with the foul. Puts the ball back on the 25.
Instead of near midfield. Riggins had a little room to the outside, tried to come back inside, and there a sea of aquamarine blue.
Larry Gordon makes the stop.
We asked the question earlier, would Miami's defense be able to stop John Riggins? The early answer, yes, they will. There's Bob Baumhauer doing a good job of shutting it off over the middle. A second play. These plays from earlier action now. Right there, that was the tackle from the outside by Brzezinski, number 59. Riggins has got to get himself moving. He got 5 yards on that play. That's the kind of running that got Washington into this game, Dick.
Theismann, second down, 6. Riggins. The big back from Kansas is to the 34-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Number 40, Mike Kozlowski. He's the 5th defensive back, made the tackle.
Gain of 5 yards.
One of the important members of that Miami defense, number 77, A.J. Dewey. What a great week last week. Watch him in pursuit here. Reads the play to the outside. Knows that Riggins must be stopped out there. Look at him fighting his way through, throwing his body into the stack. But Riggins almost able to pick up that first down. 3rd and less than 1.
Riggins was rushed for over 100 yards in each of the 3 playoff games. Theismann on that controlled roll, but he's in trouble. Gets to the 30 and then is tripped up. Baumhauer, Brzezinski, and Dewey all surrounding Theismann. And so the punting team will come on for the Washington Redskins.
Bob Baumhauer is certainly important to that play, but I believe it was the linebacker, Larry Gordon, coming upfield that shut it off. Let's watch the pursuit from the inside. Bostic trying to shut off Baumhauer inside, but Baumhauer able to escape. He'll finally make the tackle, but it was a fine play by Gordon, who forced Theismann back inside. Actually, Baumhauer didn't finish the tackle. He just got the first part of it.
So Jeff Hayes to punt. Tommy Figueredo back at the 30-yard line for Miami. The Dolphins leading 7-0. End over end. Figueredo has some running room. 35. And down at the 37-yard line. Clarnsbarger and the Miami defense on the sidelines. From the 38. Threw a big hole all the way to the 50-yard line and almost took it the distance. Mel Kaufman, 55 around his ankles. It's a big gain for Miami, 13 yards.
Again, Washington Redskins getting what they had hoped for defensively. They wanted to see Nathan carrying the football, but I don't think they wanted to see him making this kind of yardage. Fine play. They fake Franklin to the outside. Nathan darting up inside, showing great acceleration. Usually it's Franklin running up inside and Nathan running outside. Utilize 22 right up the middle. Fine gain, first down.
50-yard line. Matt Moore, the veteran, in motion. Franklin running into his own man and then powering to the 31-yard line. A 9-yard gain for Franklin from Nebraska. He wears 39. That was Larry Zonka's number, and he made it very clear, even though he wore 39 at Nebraska, he wanted 37 and his own identity with the Dolphins, and he certainly has earned that this year, rushing for over 700 yards, third best in the NFL. There they are. Freeman McNeil, the NFL rushing champion, followed by Tony Dorsett, the best in the NFC, and then Franklin. There's Zonk himself. He was always a favorite of Don Shula's. Franklin has a first down at the Washington 37-yard line.
A lot of people do not realize, Dick, that during the regular season, Franklin averaged 4.1 yards a carry. And John Riggins, who has had a lot more publicity coming into this game, averaged 3.1 yards a carry. Of course, Riggins' numbers in the playoffs much better than that, but there's Franklin's record for both the season and the playoff. You can see the number of times that he has contributed with those big 4-yard-plus gains.
Powerful legs. He was a blocking back at Nebraska primarily. On 2nd and 1, Woodley. Fumble! Redskins have a shot at it. If it stays in bounds, did it? Yes. Washington's ball at the 46-yard line. Dexter Manley made the hit. Dave Butts recovered it.
Was hit by Dexter Manley.
A hit reminiscent of the big hit he made on Danny White just before the half in that game against Dallas. Butts will be coming from, or Manley will be coming from the right side of your screen. Just swarms over the top of Woodley. The ball bouncing 20, 30 yards to the sideline.
One of the owners of the Washington Redskins, Jack Kent Cooke. Like they don't care. That's after Dexter Manley forced the fumble and Dave Butts recovered at the Miami 46-yard line. That turnover table so critical. Dolphins a +4, the Redskins a +8 on the regular season. The Redskins have generated quite a pass rush. They've averaged 4 sacks a game in the last 6. Here a little razzle-dazzle, and now Theismann getting away and throwing to Brown out of bounds. No catch at the 13-yard line. He did not come down in bounds. Charlie Brown has Theismann drilling the ball. Glenn Blackwood on the coverage. Theismann did a good job of escaping the rush. 2nd and 10. A draw. It's Clarence Harmon toppled at about the 38-yard line. A good gain of about 7 for Harmon. Who carried the ball infrequently during the course of the year. Rushed for 168 yards. He's from Mississippi State, one of the many free agents on this Washington team.
When he did carry it, carried it effectively with a 4.4 average during the regular season, Dick.
Mark Mosley, who set an NFL record, 23 consecutive field goals this year, getting ready just in case. 3rd down and 2. Theismann over the middle. Caught for a first down at the 35-yard line by Don Warren, the tight end from San Diego State. Warren with Roan all over him, making a clutch catch and a Washington first down.
During the 1981 season, Don Warren had a hard time hanging onto the football. But somewhere he found glue on his fingers. And during the 1982 season has been a sure-handed receiver, has been well utilized by Theismann, by Joe Gibbs. A very important part of their passing attack during this past season.
2.5 minutes remaining, first quarter. Miami has scored on a 76-yard touchdown pass. Woodley to Cephalo. Redskins, after a turnover, have a first down at the Miami 35. Riggins. He's got at least 7. Starting wide and at 235 pounds, showing his speed as he cut upfield. Dewey and Blackwood, Lyle Blackwood, made the tackle. Brzezinski was there as well.
A.J. Dewey will be all over the field on this particular play, coming from his inside linebacker slot. Gets a little block there from Grimm, number 68. But that's the kind of play that Riggins runs so well. slipping outside, seeing the opening in the defense, and accelerating up through the hole. He rarely falls backwards. At the end of his runs, you'll normally see Riggins going forward.
Second down in the long three. See Warren coming up through the hole, or Walker to block the tight end, and then Riggins following in behind and has the first down inside the 25. 7 more yards for John Riggins. Former Jet, a #1 pick in '71. Established himself as a free agent, picked up by the Redskins, then left football in '80 because he didn't think he was making enough money. Decided he better come back. He was bored and broke, he said. And had really an average year, didn't he, Merlin, during the course of the season? But he's been spectacular in the playoffs.
Certainly has. And you saw Arnsparger concerned about what's going to happen as Theismann does not like what he sees and quickly calls a timeout.
So from the 22 with the first down, the Miami defense was not what Theismann wanted in that play call, and so he's going to come over and talk with Joe Gibbs, his head coach. 57 seconds remaining. The Dolphins leading by a touchdown. A long play. Woodley to Cephalo, 76 yards. Dexter Manley's sack of Woodley forced the fumble, recovered by Butch, and now the Redskins looking for the tying score. Have a first down at the Dolphin 22. Riggins inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. Dewey and others to stop the big fullback of the Redskins. Second down and 6 for Washington.
Dick, one of the things that we will see in this game that is very interesting is the blocking of the big tight end, Rick Walker, number 88, right there working on Gordon. And you notice how he locks Gordon up. He really has just got him where he is not possible for him to even be a part of the play. That's the strategy of that Washington offense. They blow right into you. They know that Riggins is going to come up through there and find the weakness then in the defense.
Second and 6. That's Brown in motion. Riggins again. To the 15 to the 14. It'll be short of the first down by a couple. Gordon, number 50, made the tackle that time.
The Washington Redskins liked the play of number 66, Big Joe Jacoby. And they ran up in there behind him again on that last play.
Hale in the first quarter, the Redskins had the ball twice as long as Miami, but trailed 7-0.
Well, one of Miami's big plays, of course, got them into the end zone. And that's what the Redskins are looking for right now, a chance to even it up.
Ball at the 15-yard line, third down and 3. That's Walker. Theismann to Riggins. Stacked up. He didn't make it. See what Joe Gibbs' choice will be on 4th and about 1.5 yards for the first down. Dewey and Gordon, Baumhauer all in on that last play. And here comes the field goal unit for Washington. Mosley, not only 23 consecutive field goals, a new NFL record over 2 years, but this year missed only one, 20 of 21.
Big Joe Jacoby, number 66. They've run in right behind him, and he's been giving Beaucamper, number 58, a tough time. But Beaucamper stood him off on that play, forced the field goal unit.
31 yards away, and Mosley's kick is true. Now the Redskins capitalize on the fumble. Pasadena, California. Of course, the second half will be played during the night. Miami leading 7-3, gets the ball. To Bolton Walker at the 5. 20. Got the speed. 30. And he's all the way to the 47-yard line. Oh, the Dolphins. They've read a lot about Mike Helms' tremendous kick return ability, and Bolton Walker says, I'll show you a little of my own stuff.
The clock at the bottom of your screen will show you how long that football is in the air. You can see the kind of power that Hayes was able to get on that ball. Now watch the coverage. Walker will come up inside. Now breaks to the outside very quickly here. Gets away from a couple of tacklers. That's Hayes who fell to the ground in front of him. They're lucky to get that final saving tackle. That was Williams, Greg Williams, I believe, 47, that came over and took him down from behind.
Officially 42 yards on the kick return. This is Tony Nathan weaving his way to the Washington 45. A gain of 8 before Mel Kaufman. And Mark Murphy can make the hit.
Stop by Mel Kaufman.
Kaufman got into the lineup, Dick. Monty Coleman was injured, and Kaufman got in and has played so well that Monty Coleman hasn't been able to get his job back. Monty does come in to play, of course, on passing downs to utilize his great speed. But Mel Kaufman has really become a player during 1982.
He's a member of the NCAA Division II champion Cal Poly San Luis Obispo team. Nathan again. Straight up the middle to a first down at the 37. Dave Butts, #1 draft pick of the St. Louis Cardinals in '73 and then traded to the Redskins, made the tackle.
A gain of 3 yards.
Tony Nathan from Alabama, one of 4 Alabama graduates in this game, and of course, like all of the football world, saddened by the news, Paul Bear Bryant during the week. Franklin. Boy, they appear to be keying on Franklin. Nathan has done the running, but Franklin drawing the crowd. That was Dexter Manley spearheading the charge.
Dick, let's take a look at the strategists in this game. Don Shula, of course, calls the plays for the Miami Dolphins, sends them in. And this is one of the men he's counting on today. Wants to use Franklin like a hammer up the middle. But when you've got 3 Redskins and then a 4th standing on top of you, very difficult to make yardage up the middle.
A gain of only 1 for Franklin, who blocked for I.M. Hip and Jarvis Redwine and Rick Burns, all 1,000-yard rushers back at Nebraska. Woodley has a man. Duriel Harris stopped at about the 33-yard line. They'll allow progress. Jarris White, 45, made the tackle. It'll be just shy of a first down. A gain of about 8. Harris from New Mexico State. Don Shula, he'll call the plays on one sideline. And on the other side, Richie Pettibone, the defensive coordinator of the Redskins under Joe Gibbs.
There's Shula sending in the plays. Now he usually sends a messenger in. On the other side, they're sent in by signal. Watch Pettibone. That's his signal, which goes into Mark Murphy on the field. Murphy, the defensive signal caller, the general, he'll make both audible and visual calls for his defensive men.
Woody Bennett into the ball game. It's Franklin that gets the handoff. Don Shula calls that his elephant backfield. 2 big men, short yardage. Franklin at 225 and Bennett at 222. Neil Olkowitz and Dexter Manley made the tackle, but not until Franklin fought for the first down.
They ran that play right at Big Dave Butts, number 65. Butts, of course, plays the run very efficiently, but Miami challenging him on the offensive line. He's head up there and gets the block of number 57, Dwight Stevenson. Stevenson coming from his center slot. Taves slipping up the middle. Butts able to get back into the play, but not until he had a first down.
Franklin and Nathan behind Woodley, who throws to Cephalo. Touchdown maker is stopped at the 25-yard line. Short yardage, about 5, maybe 6. Vernon Dean, second-round draft pick, number 32 of the Redskins this year. The rookie from San Diego State went to Los Angeles High School, so he's playing right in his own backyard.
Dwight Stevenson, number 57, had a good look at him over the playoffs. One of the quickest centers in the NFL, and certainly has given us some exciting action to zero in on. Of course, his play very important against this 4-3 defense.
2nd and 4. Nathan. Boy, they had good penetration, did the Redskins that time. They beat the Miami offensive line off the ball, and a loss suffered by the Dolphins as Dave Butts again right around that football.
And that, of course, is exactly what Richie Pettibone wants. He puts in 4 defensive specialists, takes 4 of the slower players out of this game. This is what they call their nickel package, and they love to get Miami and any team they play in a long yardage passing situation.
10 minutes remaining in the first half. 7-3 Miami. 3rd and 5 for the Dolphins. Out of the shotgun. Complete to Harris. And it's a first down at the Washington 19. And Woodley, under a tremendous rush, just didn't get the ball away. Dean and Murphy made the tackle.
Mark Murphy, leading tackler for the Redskins, making another fine play, but David Woodley has certainly silenced a lot of his critics in this playoff run. They said he couldn't throw the football. Well, he zips this one. Juriel Harris at the other end of it, making the first down. Murphy finally polishes him off. But boy, that's fine play.
Why, Tony Peters, the strong safety, you can't get into a backfield any quicker than he was on Woodley, and he still completed the pass. 9 minutes left, second quarter. 7-3 Miami. First down at the Washington 19. Franklin. He earned about 3, maybe 4 before Murphy and Kaufman could collaborate on the tackle.
Dick, Don Shula's offensive philosophy in this game, pretty basic and simple. Wants to establish the running game. Wants to throw the ball short. And when he gets Washington where they have to gamble, where they come with the blitz, he knows he's isolated man on man. Then he wants to get deep, as he did to Cephalo, and get the big points on the board.
Let's hear Woodley bark out the signals on this second down and 7. Appeared to be Manley offside before the snap. Apparently, we didn't hear the signals, and neither did Manley. It'll go against Manley.
Encroachment, number 72, defense, second down.
That'll be second down and a long one for Don Shula's Dolphins. And that gives Woodley a down with which to play against Joe Gibbs in his second year with the Redskins, the NFL Coach of the Year, voted by his own peers, former offensive coordinator with the San Diego Chargers. After a blitz, Franklin drives to the 8-yard line. Murphy made the tackle along with Manley. It's a first and goal for Miami. Franklin. Good defense by the Redskins. 1-yard gain. Rich Malott, one of the many linebackers to graduate from Joe Paterno's Penn State Nittany Lions, replaced Chris Hamburger and is often compared to him as an outside backer.
Had a lot of injuries over the last year and a half, or actually in the past season. This season he stayed healthy. But in the 1981 season, had a lot of injuries that kept him from reaching his potential. Has really come to his full potential as a linebacker during this season, Greg.
Woodley has a blocker, might run it. Gets to about the 3-yard line. A little slow in developing. There was a point had Woodley decided to run immediately where he might have scored. Perhaps trying to decide whether to throw or not. It's now third and goal at about the 3. Woodley, the leading rusher among National Football League quarterbacks this year with 207 yards. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
Dick, I always hated that quarterback rollout. I think it's the most dangerous play that you can run at this point on the field. Very tough for the defense to take care of.
Third and goal from the 3-yard line. Miami leading 7-3. Woodley might have thrown that one away. Joe Rose was the nearest Dolphin. Vernon Dean came closest to the ball. So the Redskins stop Miami's thrust at the 3, and Uwe von Schamann in to try the field goal. This one just a yard longer than an extra point.
We'll take a look at Joe Rose as he gets out into his pattern. Both he and Cephalo were to the outside. It appeared that that ball may have been thrown at Cephalo rather than Rose. Cephalo had hooked back inside. Ball thrown to the corner, but no one could get to it. Let's see if Uwe is getting over the flu. He's not only got that back problem, but he's had the flu this week. It certainly could affect his performance, but probably not from this close in.
21 yards, but from an angle. Out of Strock's hold, it's good. 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Here at the Rose Bowl, Super Bowl 17, the AFC champion Dolphins leading by 7. Von Schamann officially from 20 yards on that last field goal. Will kick it off. Mike Nelms to return. He had that big 76-yard kickoff return against Dallas last week.
This is where that injury to Von Schamann's back will probably bother him. We probably won't see him kick the ball into the end zone unless that back is healed substantially in this last week, Rick.
healthy on that. Oh! He put Helms into El Monte. First down at the 20-yard line. So Von Schaman showing that at least that back not bothering his kicking form. Miami leading 10-3. Ball at the 20-yard line. And Theismann to throw. Wide open is Rick Walker. 30, 40, 45. No one covered Walker, who drives out of bounds at the 47-yard line. 25 yards for Theismann and the Redskins.
Rick Walker, number 88, has been coming in motion and then dipping up into the line to block. On this play, he'll come from the left side of your screen and dip up as if to block. You saw him going through right there. He's all by himself. No one picks him up in the Miami secondary, and Walker does a good job of getting extra yardage before he's finally run out of room by the Blackwood brothers.
Here's Dewey as you watch him try to read the play, get screened out. Actually, Walker goes by him and was forgotten.
That was his coverage. That was Dewey's coverage.
Walker again on a reverse and hit from behind, stopped at the 47-yard line, fumbled, but was already down at the 48 and picked up some of that turf in the helmet.
A.J. embarrassed on that last play. I really believe that that was his man, and sometimes the adrenaline will begin to pump. He comes right up on Russ Grimm, number 68, stands Grimm off at the line, and finally gets outside to make the tackle on Walker right there.
Dewey, number 77. That was a big number last week. He had 3 interceptions and a touchdown. 77 for the Redskins. Gerald Grant had a touchdown. Riggins close to a first down as he plows to the Miami 43-yard line. Riggins, who broke all of Gale Sayers' records at Kansas in high school, was the state champion sprinter with a 9.8 speed. Compact 235-pounder. Fumbled once all year, did Riggins. Never thrown for a loss in his collegiate days. At Kansas, they're measuring for the first down.
Riggo, he had himself quite a week. Didn't like all the press conversation at the beginning of the week, and it had dressed in his casual attire, his khakis and so forth, until late in the week when the Redskins had a party and Riggo arrived in top hat and tails. And Joe Gibbs said, well, one thing for sure, you never do know what Riggins is going to do, how he's going to arrive.
His normal attire is camouflage pants. Well, there's Riggonomics right there, about that much necessary for a first down.
We're going to be looking at Jeff Bostic, the center for the Washington Redskins. He dislocated the pointer finger on his right hand in practice this week, and of course that's his snapping hand. Very difficult.
Third down and short. Riggins. Here's he has it. Roan finished off the tackle. Riggins able to lurch forward. Didn't need much. And referee Jerry Markbright calls time. This gives us a chance to congratulate Joe Theismann, the quarterback of the Washington Redskins, who has been named the NFL 82 Man of the Year. It's given for not only football excellence, but contributions to the community. And Joe has been so very active in many causes in the nation's capital. His daughter, Amy, first down, at age 3, had open heart surgery. And Joe said when she came out of the surgery and looked at him and said, "Daddy," he said his whole life changed, and he has given very freely of his time off the field. We congratulate him on that high honor.
He's certainly, without question, the leader of that Washington Redskin team, too. And I think one of the great attributes of the quarterback, that kind of leadership.
First down. The Redskins looking for a tying touchdown. 4 minutes left in the first half. Theismann to Brown on the flanker screen. Some nice runnings, but Doug Better's able to finally get him by the jersey and tail him down at about the 39-yard line. Betters makes his off-season home up in the ski country. He likes Lake Tahoe in Montana. Schuler wish he'd give up skiing.
Screen pass, and of course Bostic, one of the people that will have to get outside to help block. You see him right there trying to stay on Baumhauer. Now he's trying to get outside. Baumhauer stayed right with him, but Bostic would not give up on the block. That's a feisty blocker there.
Charlie Brown tackled by Betters at the 40. It's second down and 7. Riggins the only setback. Theismann rolling. And then throwing back to Riggins. He has running room, 35-30. And he's all the way to the 25 and a first down.
Here's another angle of that last play. A 14-yard pickup for John Riggins. Riggins not usually utilized as a receiver. And Joe Gibbs is pulling out the stops today. Theismann looking to this sideline and throwing back. John Riggins all alone. And oh, I don't think I'd want to try and come up and tackle him from there. 59, Brzezinski, a big linebacker, still had trouble getting him down.
From the 25-yard line of Miami, Theismann to Riggins. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. It appeared the way Riggins was holding the football that he was going to throw.
I watched Riggins during practice, and he practiced for about 5 minutes just with that play, throwing the football, and has a good throwing action, is an accurate passer, but did not unload that one because his receiver was covered.
Alvin Garrett was the man deep downfield, and indeed, he was blanketed well.
Down on the line of scrimmage in the pits, the Hogs beginning to get a little advantage here for the Washington Redskins.
Riggins comes out. He is a member of that Hogs team honorary unit. It's not easy to get into that club. Clarence Harmon, the only setback. Theismann scrambling. He's got running room. 20. 15. Out of bounds. First down at the 12. Theismann, who rushed for 150 yards during the course of the year, gets a first down.
We have two very mobile quarterbacks in this football game, and boy, that'll bring you nightmares if you're trying to play defense. You think you've got everything covered. You've got a good pass rush, you've got people covered downfield, and suddenly a mobile quarterback takes off and destroys the whole equation. Turns what looks to be a good play defensively into a disaster.
From the 13, a first down. 10-3, Miami leads, 2 minutes remaining. Riggins to the 7. Baumhauer, McNeil finally made the tackle. And that's the 2-minute warning. The brain trust of the Washington Redskins, led by 42-year-old Joe Jackson Gibbs.
Man on this side, Joe Bro. And on the other side, the man who gave his offensive line the name Hogs, Joe Buehler.
Even in the locker room there for Washington, the Hogs, their area is called Pig Alley, and it's written in crayon, they say. Second down and 4 from the 7 as the Redskins looking for a tying score. It's Riggins. Breaks the initial hit and has the speed to get outside and turn what would be a loss for a normal back into a gain of a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Gerald Small finally ran him out of bounds.
And that's one time when Riggins is not difficult to tackle. If you can get him turned to the sideline, as they did on that play, and they'd love to be able to do that on every play. But there's only been 1 3rd down in this drive, Dick. They have been picking up big yardage on the Miami defense and doing a great job of mixing their plays. I'm sure Bill Arnsparger concerned about what his defensive troops are going through out there against this Redskin offense.
That's a long one. 3rd and about 1.5 yards. And Theismann to throw to Garrett. Touchdown! Now here's the fun bunch and their touchdown celebration. The remarkable story of Alvin Garrett continues. He caught 1 pass for 6 yards all year, and then with the injury to Art Monk in the playoffs, 13 catches, 4 touchdowns. That's his 5th score in the playoffs.
And a brilliant finesse pass by number 7, Joe Theismann, as we watch the extra point cleanly through the uprights. Theismann just lofted that ball over the top of Gerald Small. Garrett able to come up with, here it is, a chance for you to look at. Look how quickly he throws that football. Arches it up and over the top.
Drafted by San Diego out of Angelo State, went to the Giants, and eventually another free agent pick by the Redskins. He has tied the game. Alvin Garrett. Now Jeff Hayes to kick off. Fulton Walker, the deep man for Miami. He had a 42-yard kickoff return the last time. From the 2. 20, he's in the open again. 30. 40, he's going to go all the way for a touchdown. 98 yards, Fulton Walker. It's in the book. Fulton Walker, new Super Bowl record, 98-yard kickoff return.
The Redskins have not given up a return for a touchdown on a kickoff all year. In fact, one of the strengths of their team has been their ability to come down and cover kicks. But number 41, Fulton Walker, shows them his heels as he simply breaks outside, gets excellent blocking. A block there on Wilbur Jackson. Hayes, the man who had the last shot at him, just threw his body down, and Fulton Walker carries it into the end zone.
That breaks the old mark of Rick Upchurch. The injured player was Clarence Harmon. He's okay. Here you see it again. He started left and then got a block and broke it right up the middle. There's the key block. Was thrown by 61, the All-American from University of Southern California, Roy Foster. And Walker, no one laid a hand on him.
And here's another chance to see it coming right at you from the end zone. There was the big block on the outside. Just a devastating block on Cronin. Pretty job. Walker carrying it in for points.
And Larry Anderson holds the all-time kickoff return yardage. The Pittsburgh Steelers on this field against the Rams. Remember his key returns. Walker in just 2 tries has a 98 and a 42-yarder. That's 140 yards already on 2 kickoff returns. He well could set a new mark. He needs just a short one now. Try for point by Von Schaman.
Don Strock
to hold.
Von Schaman attempting the conversion.
It's good. Larry Anderson with 5 returns had 162 yards. In 2 returns, Fulton Walker is just 22 yards shy of that mark. Former West Virginia Mountaineer Fulton Walker, as a rookie last year, he had a kickoff return for a touchdown, a Monday night game against Buffalo. And he has just set a Super Bowl mark with that 98-yard romp for a score, thanks to his friends on that special teams. And in a game where some thought 17-10 could be the final, everyone predicting a low-scoring game, it's 17-10 with a minute and a half remaining in this first half. Von Schaman to Nelms. He, a dangerous kick return man. Deep, 6 yards deep. He's going to take it out. 10. And down at the 16-yard line, and with it goes the flag. Steve Scholl, 52, made the tackle for Miami, along with Woody Bennett. And now let's check the penalty.
Dick, that's the first time we've ever had a kickoff run all the way back for a touchdown in the Super Bowl. So not only a record in length, but also the first of its kind. Penalty for an illegal block going against the Washington Redskins here. That means they'll start even further in their own territory. It looked like they've been fighting for respect all year. In fact, that's kind of been their battle cry.
Todd Liebenstein guilty of the foul. Remember, the Redskins used a timeout earlier, so they have only 2 remaining. Riggins. We'll see if Miami elects to use their time. Yes, they are. Ernest Roan calls time. They now have 2 left. And, of course, the Miami strategy of Don Shula would be to try to hold the Redskins deep in their own end, using their timeouts, and then get the ball near midfield on a punt. Miami trying to hold Washington deep in its own end. Little draw play to Harmon. Oh, he's popped pretty good at the 13-yard line. A.J. Dewey helped out by Baumhauer. And time called Miami with 1 minute and 20 seconds left in the first half. And now Theismann needs about, with the ball at the 14, 3 yards for a first down, or the punting team will have to come on for Washington.
Baumhauer able to get good penetration on that play. One thing about Arnsparger's defense, it is a defense that is usually on safe ground for almost any play. It's not nearly as aggressive. He won't send the blitz. He sent it maybe 5% of the time as opposed to 30% for Washington.
3rd down 3, 1 minute 20 seconds left in the half. 17-10 Miami. Giaquinto, the man in motion, number 30. Theismann will run for the first down and get it with a slide at the 24-yard line. That looked like a pretty good baseball slide. Theismann had plenty of practice. He was an outstanding high school player, primarily a pitcher. In fact, the Minnesota Twins offered him a baseball contract.
One of the men the Hogs are trying to keep pinned down today, number 73, Bob Baumhauer. He was trying to chase from the inside. You see the blitz coming on that play. Actually, that's Rowan going inside. Baumhauer standing behind him. Has his sights set on Theismann. George Stark, 74, pushes him away, but Theismann just outlegs Baumhauer and then hooks it into the sideline. He's safe.
First down at the 24-yard line with 1:14 remaining, and now let's see what the Redskins do. They've got 2 timeouts left. Theismann complete. Oh, what a hit. Don Warren tackled by Mike Kozlowski, who came up quickly from the secondary. Kozlowski, who in junior college, his sport was volleyball. He won a scholarship as a volleyball star and then went on to Colorado.
I think he had visions of batting that ball loose, and did, but after the receiver hit the ground. But that was quite a tackle. Pass thrown behind the receiver, who had to turn around, put him in a very awkward position, and Kozlowski leveled him.
Second down, 6. Clock has been running. 38, 37, 36 seconds remaining, first half. Theismann going to go long down the middle, and a flag goes down. Giaquinto hit early by 42, Lyle Blackwood. Remember, the Dolphins had the fewest penalties in the NFL again this year. For the 7th consecutive year, the least penalized team. That was a big one. Number 42 at the 42. First down, Washington.
Lyle Blackwood had excellent position. He just mistimed the hit. He leveled Giaquinto before the ball arrived. And, of course, you'll have a first down at that point. A different look there. You saw how far away from Giaquinto the ball was when Blackwood hit him, and how quickly the flag was in the air.
17-10. Miami leads. 30 seconds left for Theismann and the Redskins before the half to try to tie. They're showing blitz. Theismann running out of room. And completes. Charlie Brown. He's finally down at the 16-yard line. Timeout. Washington with 14 seconds left.
Absolutely a great play by Joe Theismann. Scrambling out to his right, getting pressure from Dewey, who had blitzed from the inside. Watch Dewey coming from the inside. Theismann will look back. He's coming right now. Looks back. He sees Dewey coming and then just fires a strike. Joe Theismann has a powerful arm. He used it effectively there to get the ball to Charlie Brown.
Everyone thought this would be a defensive struggle to find teams in that regard. And yet the last 4 possessions have resulted in a score, and Washington trying to make it 5 in a row. Get the ball, you get some points. From the 16, Theismann has time. And he doesn't get out of bounds, and the clock is running.
I don't think they'll be able to get it stopped, Dick. I think they've got an opportunity to get
2,
it here.
1. It's all over the first half, and that was the risk that the Redskins took of completing the pass in the field of play. They were unable to get out of bounds, and the Dolphins making the tackle, and Don Shula breathes a little easier. Joe Gibbs denied a 3. He was looking for a 7, and that is the end of the first half. 17-10, Miami leads. Merlin Olsen. We had 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes, and Washington very nearly tying it up. Lost the opportunity, tackled in the field of play at the 8-yard line.
A real tactical mistake by Joe Theismann. I'm sure the play that came in called for a touchdown or an incomplete pass and not a catch in the field of play. Theismann gunned the ball to his receiver in a position where he could be tackled, and they lost the opportunity to score. If they were to lose this ball game because they did not get those 3 points, I'm sure Theismann is going to feel horrible.
Well, the Redskins will have a chance to make amends. They get the ball first to open the second half.
They certainly do, and I expect Joe Gibbs to come out with what worked for him in the first half. They've gotten good running from Riggins, as we expected they would. 17 times, 58 yards, although he's only averaging 3.4 yards a carry, as opposed to the 4.1 he'd averaged in the 3 games prior. but that's still enough to create problems for Bill Arnsparger. And I think he's forcing, Riggins is forcing the Miami defense to a conscious level that's allowing for penetration of the Smurfs into the secondary. We'll see if it continues in the second half.
All right, it's been Miami's big plays. The long touchdown, 76 yards. Woodley to Cephalo, the 98-yard kickoff return to give them a 17-10 lead. The second half coming up. Teams are taking the field. You saw David Woodley earlier. His longest pass in his career, 76 yards, comes in the Rose Bowl. And 76 of those passing yards that has Miami in front 17-10. Merlin Olsen.
Some interesting stats. Both quarterbacks throwing at very high completion rates. 4 of 6 for Woodley and 9 of 11 for Theismann. 16 minutes possession for Washington. 13 and over a half by the Dolphins. You can see the yardage very close by the two teams. Of course, turnover costly to the Dolphins early. But the big turn in that half, Dick, in special teams. We expected Washington special teams, in particular Mike Nelms, to be the dominant factor on special teams. It's been Fulton Walker and the good coverage, good blocking of Miami special teams that's really given them the edge in this first half.
Uwe von Schamann trying to squeeze a wrinkle in the ball as he'll root one off the tee. He's kicked it well into the end zone on his first half kicks. Mike Nelms in the end zone awaiting the return. Score by quarter for Miami.
And if you look at the third quarter of opponents, you'll see that only 10 points scored against them in the third quarter. That's halftime adjustments by Bill Arnsparger. Let's see what he has in mind for Washington.
Kick comes down short on the wing to Clarence Harmon, who gets it out to about the 28-yard line. So it appeared that von Schamann that time kicked the ball away from Mike Nelms. A flag is down as the tackle was made. Here's that it's going to go against Miami.
John Riggins, of course, dominant factor in the first half, and one of the reasons that he is such a dominant runner is that he makes a lot of yardage after the hit. Now Riggins will find openings in the line, but his tremendous strength comes from what happens after he makes the first hit. Look at it right there. Over the top of two players, literally gets an extra 2.5, 3 yards after the initial contact. Riggins, the kind of runner that rarely ends up going backwards. A second shot. These from earlier action in the first half. You'll see Riggins spotting the hole. Great vision. Pulling right through the tackle of 58 Bokamper over the top of two more men. That's the kind of running that brought Washington to this Super Bowl. We'll see if Riggins can continue it here in the second half.
5 yards on the face mask penalty on the tackle, so Washington begins at its 33-yard line, and it's Riggins with the first call. And they get him swinging outside, and as Merlin pointed out in the first half, then he becomes somewhat normal, and Larry Gordon able to ride him out of bounds with little or no gain.
If I were down there on the defensive line of scrimmage, I don't think I'd mind tackling John Riggins when he's going sideways. It's when he gets the shoulder square and heads upfield that he's dangerous. Let's look at it here. Good adjustment by number 50, Larry Gordon. Forces him wide. Schmal, is that McNeil, I guess, 28 coming up to finish the job. But that's the kind of play we saw last week against the Freeman McNeil of the Jets. They haven't been able to do it consistently here today.
Loss of about a half yard, and that's news when Riggins loses. Theismann to throw. Under pressure, Baumhauer has him at the 20-yard line. Third sack for the Killer Bee defense.
I've got to wonder, Dick, if maybe that hand injury to Keith Bostic isn't bothering his pass blocking. We talked about it earlier. There they are, right in the pits together. Number 53 and 73. Dewey coming in there to confuse the blocking. I believe it was a screen, though. It looked like a screen. They let them through. They must have knocked down the intended receiver. Theismann had nowhere to go. Gets sacked by number 73, Bob Baumhauer.
Third down and 20. Here's Quinto in motion. Theismann needs big yardage. Incomplete. Over the middle, that's where Theismann likes to go. Intended for Charlie Brown. And McNeil and Blackwood, good coverage, and Miami will get the ball.
Seeing a great deal of motion by the backers as we see McNeil on the ground. McNeil up moving. Went down as a result of a hit.
Redskins with the Baumhauer sack forcing Theismann back. And on 4th down and 20, Hayes will kick from around his own 13-yard line. The Dolphins' dangerous return man is Tommy Vigorito at the 36.
Hayes has gotten off some excellent kicks on the day. That's well above his normal average. They're expecting the block here.
10 men on the line of scrimmage for Miami. Remember, they blocked a punt against the Jets last week. Short. Flags are down. Vigorito comes all the way to his 46-yard line to make the fair catch. Flag is thrown where you would expect illegal man downfield, a man releasing too soon.
If that's the case, Dick, I think they'll refuse it because they got a great field position out of that short punt by Hayes.
If it's a hold against Miami, then the Redskins would get a first down. Jerry Markbright, the importance of the situation, making certain that his comrade has made the call and interpreting that call. Don McNeil injured.
Checking him, of course, worried about the concussion there, and if he were not able to come back into the field of play, that would be a serious blow to Bill Arnsparger's defense. McNeil capable of covering one-on-one, a very valuable member of that defensive team, but he's up and moving. Looks like he may be all right.
Well, he grabbed that helmet as if you were grabbing a lunch pail going to work. That's a major foul against the Dolphins for a chop block.
Illegal block below the waist. Number 41 on the run back. First down.
Colton Walker, the man who was detected with a penalty, and it's a first down then for Miami at its 31-yard line. That was a 31-yard punt by Hayes.
Kind of a mixed bag for number 41, Fulton Walker, as you see him from the right side of your camera there, going at the legs of number 86, Didier. Clint Didier, illegal block, 15-yard penalty against the Dolphins.
Well, 1 minute gone, third quarter. Miami with the ball for the first time in the second half, leading 17-10. Little trap block, and look at Franklin break through to the 41-yard line. A gain of about 10 before the last man, Mark Murphy and Rich Malott, can make the tackle.
Chance to watch some of the play down in the pits. You'll see the blocking to the outside here. Let's watch it. The trap by number 60, Taves, will be on the near side of your screen. Watch Taves just step out behind, gets a trap right there, opens the way for Andre Franklin. Some good blocking inside by Miami's offensive line. They clear the way, second short.
1 yard to go for the first down. Tony Nathan spinning, and I don't believe he made the first down. Darrell Grant, right tackle, who had his dream come through. His first touchdown, college or pro, came last week against Dallas with that deflected ball by Manley. He gathered it in, ran 10 yards for the score.
We've been lucky with the rain so far, Dick, but looking out toward the mountains here, there are some clouds gathering and a little bit of darkness coming in. We may yet get a drop of rain on this beautiful day.
Third down, less than a yard. Woody Bennett joins Andre Franklin in the Miami backfield. And appeared to be a mix-up. It might even have been a fumble, or was that just the quarterback Woodley going over the top? Whatever, it's going to be close. They're marking it at the 41-yard line.
Let's go down and look at the line surge as we get a chance to watch Dave Butts, Darrell Grant, the rest of the troops on the inside. 57 Stevenson and Taves and Kuchenberg trying to make room for Woodley. They got some room, but that Redskin defense just swarming to the ball. They'll measure it. Very close. I believe they got it.
It is a first down for Miami. Defense against the run. Washington, one of the better teams in the league. Miami, the best in the league against the pass, 24th versus the run. But when you got those few yards you were able to earn against that pass defense of Miami, you had to run it. You had no other choice.
People just simply electing to take the easier of the two evils. They were tough against the run, but much tougher against the pass.
First down by just a couple of inches. And Woodley on first down to throw. Good protection, and he's going long for Harris. No, he's out of bounds, juggling the ball. A fine try by Harris, who ran that deep out against Jarris White.
Watching Woodley in practice the other day, one of the problems that he has is doesn't quite have the timing on that throw. Accurate throw, but threw it just a little too far to keep the receiver in bounds. Although he was able to get one toe in, Had he been able to drop the other toe, that would have been a good reception. Working one-on-one on Jarris White, number 45. They feel that if they can isolate him one-on-one, they can beat him.
10 yards to go.
On 2nd and 10, the give is to Franklin. Miami hoping to catch Washington looking pass. The Redskins read it well. Grant on the bottom of the pile. It'll be 3rd down and 6 for Don Shula. 53 years of age, 20th year of coaching in the NFL. He has tied Tom Landry today. This is his 5th Super Bowl appearance.
One thing that Shula will not do is beat himself. He runs a low-risk offense. He usually has control of what's happening on the field, and when the tools are working for Shula, he's a mean signal caller.
3rd and 6 for Woodley. Under pressure. Down the middle to Rose. At the 40, incomplete. Had Rose caught that ball, that had touchdown written on it. He was behind everyone. Jarris White was able to get up in front of his vision. Had that pass been in Rose's arms, that spelled trouble for Washington.
Perry Brooks, Dexter Manley, both getting pressure in there, but that pass came dangerously close to being a completion. Good play, and let's pat him on the back. Number 45, Jarris White.
Tom Oros to punt for the Miami Dolphins. Punted just once in the first half for 42 yards. Nelms is back at the 15. Takes his time and delivers a short kick. Nelms, 25, 30, and up to the 36-yard line. So Oros with that extra time, and that hit a very short kick of just 30 yards. Nelms gets 11 back on the return, and the Redskins have decent field position.
Oros still suffering from a pulled groin. He got it when he was trying to kick off last week. Worried about Von Schaman. It's really affected his performance. Let's look at the hang time of that kick. He waits a little bit, but he just does not have the snap in that leg. Very short, very bad kick.
Line coach of the Redskins, the boss hog, they call him, Joe Bugle, and his big offensive line. The Hogs try him out, open the way for Riggins or protect for Theismann.
Joe Gibbs will call on that offensive line now. That's Papa Hog, number 74. You see the size of that big line. Boy, they'll grind you up. That's what they'd like to do to Miami's line right now.
They start from their 36-yard line. Theismann screens it to Warren, the tight end. 40, and he's out to the 43. Well disguised by Theismann. The Dolphins thought they had him, and Theismann at the last minute dumped it off to his tight end. 7-yard gain. Brzezinski made the tackle.
We've talked about the quickness of Stevenson, the center for Miami. Jeff Bostic out to lead that screen, doing a great job in the middle for the Redskins, although he has had trouble one-on-one against Baumhauer. But he and Dean out to lead that 7.5, 8-yard gain on the little screen pass.
He has the first down at the 47. There have been some great nicknames in football, Merlin. You played on the fearsome foursome and the doomsday defense. Hogs not exactly up with the rest, but they have their identity and they're proud of it.
Let's look at George Stark on the far side, number 74. He'll just come right off the line and freeze Betters, number 75. All you need is a standoff. When you got a runner like Riggins, you just need to stop those defensive linemen. Riggins will come up in there, and then they can't stop him before he makes a good game. That's a dynamite combination. A big, strong offensive line coming off in zone blocking, and a runner like John Riggins.
First down from the Redskin 47. Here's a reverse. Alvin Garrett, he's got running room. 40, 30, one man to beat. Small gets him out of bounds at the 10-yard line.
Riggins off to Alvin Garrett.
43 yards for Alvin Garrett.
Just a great play. Great call by Gibbs. Reverse to Alvin Garrett. They're going to take the ball first to the outside and then bring it back across. The critical block thrown by Grimm, number 68. And you'll see it on the right-hand side of your screen now. on Larry Gordon. Right there. Grimm bumped him out of the way, opened the way for Garrett.
And first and goal from the 9. That was a 44-yard reverse run then by Garrett. So from the 9, Riggins hit by Roan after short yardage. It'll be second and goal, and then come the extra receivers sent in by Joe Gibbs. He'll bring out Riggins and the running crew, and now second and goal from inside the 8. He looks for pass.
The tough thing that does to you, you have to change your thinking defensively. You really have to shift gears. You go from a power running situation to a scat back and a passing situation.
The Redskins clamoring for a tying touchdown. Second and goal. Heisman to Warren, hit immediately at about the 3-yard line. Roan and Glenn Blackwood made the tackle.
What a great catch by Don Warren, number 85. We said earlier he has become a very fine receiver during this season. Watch him adjust to the football. A great job of just getting his hands on it as the ball was thrown behind him, and then hanging onto the football as he takes a double pop from Ernest Roan, 55, and 47, Glenn Blackwood.
Third and goal at the 3-yard line. Heisman incomplete to Alvin Garrett, and he's calling for a penalty. No flag. Similar to the touchdown scored by the Redskins with 2 minutes remaining in the first half.
Exactly the same play. They threw it just like they did before. I think thinking that McNeil may still be a little woozy from that shot he took to the head. The ball's in the air already, but McNeil spots the football, adjusts to it comfortably. The ball just over the hands of Garrett as he leaped into the air. Ooh, almost a successful replay of the scoring toss earlier.
20-yard attempt by Mosley. It is good. So both Von Schaman and Mosley get the short 20-yard field goals, and with a timeout, 8 minutes and 9 seconds left in the third quarter. The score is now Miami 17, the Redskins 13. Jeff Hayes to kick it off. Bolton Walker with 23 yards would set a new Super Bowl record, but he won't get the ball. It's Lyle Blackwood on the short kick, and after the bobble returns to the 28-yard line. Now, the Redskins, without question, kicking away from Fulton Walker, who had both a 42 and a record 98-yard return in the first half. 17-13. The Dolphins of Don Shula lead as Shula goes for his third consecutive Super Bowl win, losing his first two. That memorable Super Bowl III when he lost to the Jets, and then he lost his first against Dallas as the Miami coach, then winning against these Redskins 10 years ago and winning again the following year. So he's 2-2. Little draw to Nathan. Read well by Darrell Grant, who drops him in his tracks.
Number 77, Darrell Grant, got into this lineup because of an injury to Perry Brooks, who we've seen just returned from an operation on his knee. But Darrell Grant's done a fine job, of course, will be remembered for that fantastic run that he made last week into the end zone, setting off a celebration and RFK that could probably still be heard echoing back in Washington.
Rich Diana into the ball game. Number 33, a rookie at running back. Second and 10. Woodley knocked down by Jarris White. Nicely done by White. Took it right out of the hands of Duriel Harris.
Grab your helmet, take it down on the field, give you the feel of the game as Duriel Harris will be coming right into your lap. Watch Jarris White react to the football. The ball thrown a fraction late, and Duriel had to wait for it. Jarris White able to react to the ball, get there in time to cut it off. Had Woodley cut it loose a second earlier, would have been a completion.
So out of the shotgun, third and 10. Vigorito in motion. And deflected, incomplete. Intended for Vigorito, knocked away nicely by Tony Peters. And the Redskin fans have something to cheer about.
David Woodley had been throwing the ball very well, extremely well. A couple of passes right there that were not thrown well. The first thrown late, he hitched on the second ball, sensing the coverage. I think had he thrown it properly, he might have been able to complete the second one as well.
Horace to kick. The dangerous Nelms back at the 30-yard line. Mark Denard. No, it's Kuchenberg snapping the ball.
He stopped. He thought they're coming after it, and they are.
Another bad kick. Nelms at the 35, 40, 45, and he's to the 47-yard line. Paul Langford made the tackle. Dolphin defense watches Washington break huddle at its 47-yard line. Washington has moved the ball effectively against the top-rated defense in the NFL. Riggins and enough fake reverse, and Riggins keeps it and did not fool Bob Brzezinski, who made a solid tackle at the 49, a gain of 2.
Good play by Brzezinski. He plays the run as well as any linebacker in the game and is gradually adjusting to playing the pass, but usually is out of the lineup for sure passing downs. Riggins again being pushed toward the sideline, not nearly as effective when he's not headed upfield.
Looking for a little extraterrestrial support. Second down and 8, Redskins at midfield. Riggins attracts another crowd led by Ernest Roan. Also in on the play, number 58, Kim Bokemper. Third down, so the Redskins bring in Harmon and Giaquinto. Walker and Riggins go out.
Let's look at Joe Jacoby, number 66, 295 pounds, 6'7", again working to try and neutralize number 58, Bokemper. Had his head down on that play, and you saw Bokemper slip off the block, but you saw the tremendous power of Joe Jacoby. Had he been able to keep his head up, he would have taken Bokemper downfield 5 yards.
Third and a long 5 for Theismann. Incomplete to Charlie Brown. Don McNeil, good coverage, had Brown caught it. McNeil was right there anyway. So Theismann and the Redskins are stopped at the 50-yard line, and Jeff Hayes comes in. Theismann, who entered Notre Dame as one of 14 quarterbacks.
Charlie Brown, 87, comes in motion, turns around, comes out the other way. McNeil keeping track of him. Now he fakes to the inside, rolls outside, but you saw the feet slip out from underneath him. That's a timing pattern, and that little slip cost him the reception.
Hayes to kick, Figueredo back at the 10. Hayes has rooted it out well. Figueredo at the 6. 10. And he returns to the 18-yard line. A gain of about 12 on the punt return. Hayes has hit the ball well, 42 yards. Crowd pulling on the sweaters and jackets now as the sun is set. Miami begins from its 18, leading 17-13, 5.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Andra Franklin to about the 23, a gain of 5. Behind the block of Bob Kuchenberg, number 67, the veteran for the Miami Dolphins.
Let's go in and look at Bob Kuchenberg. Right here in the middle of your screen, number 67. He'll just be blowing out on this play. Kuchenberg, a very active and aggressive guard, has been a good player for many, many years. He's working on Darrell Grant, 77. Knocked Grant back, able to do a good job there.
Yeah, 35 years of age, 13 years. He's been in every playoff for Miami, all 3 of their Super Bowls. And a good Redskin read on Franklin as Grant that time, along with Manley, stopped the fullback of the Dolphins after just a short gain at the 24, bringing up third down and 4.
Richie Pettibone has certainly done a great job with this Redskin defense. They're very aggressive, and when you look at all the changes he has made and all the new people that have been put into that defense, they have had a year that has to go down in the record books, Dick.
They only have 17 men back in the team 2 years ago. They totally rebuilt it under Bobby Bethard, the general manager. Out of the shotgun, 3rd and 4. Going long, too long. Dorial Harris covered well by Vernon Dean, and Miami's going to get it back.
Mark Murphy faked the blitz, coming all the way from his safety position to the line. He forced the audible by David Woodley and then dropped back into coverage. Woodley, assuming it was a blitz, had gone to the pattern one-on-one, but he didn't get that kind of coverage, ended up overthrowing the ball.
Joe Nelms drops back to his 35, anticipating the kick from number 3, Tom Orris. Nelms from Baylor went to the Canadian League. Now back to his 29, 35. Look at the balance. Still on his feet to the 37, maybe the 38-yard line. Joe Gibbs has said about Nelms he's never seen a man with greater hands that in practice he'll actually catch the ball like a baseball player behind his back and still field it cleanly.
Well, I asked Richie Pettibone, he's listed as a second defensive back, and I said, why don't you have that guy on the field? He said, well, we did for a while. We put him out there, but he hit so hard that he hurt his shoulders, and he said we couldn't afford to have him off the special teams, so we had to ease up on him, couldn't let him play defense.
Now you can see how hard he was hitting carrying the ball. 47-yard kick by Orris, a 10-yard return, trailing by 4 points. Washington with the ball at its 38. Weisman over the middle, intercepted by Dewey. A.J. Dewey, that's 4 for him in the last 2 weeks. And the Miami fans chant Dewey. It almost sounds like a booing.
We had not heard a lot of A.J. Dewey this first half and early in the second half, but he makes his presence felt here. His height, he's about 6'5", gave him an advantage here. There he is right in the center of your picture. He's been moving around trying to confuse the blocking on the line. Reads the pass. Now watch him go up in the air. Great reaction to the ball. Batted it. Looks much like the one he carried in last week. Big play by Dewey.
Don Warren was the intended receiver, and he was open downfield, but Dewey in 6 years had only 2 interceptions, and he has 4 in the last 2 weeks. So from the 48 with the first turnover, Woodley going deep for Cephalo. Almost took it away from the Redskin, Juris White, who had coverage on him. Cephalo timing his leap, a flag down. Someone appeared to be offside.
Appeared that Dexter Manley had stepped off before the snap, but what a great play by Cephalo. Timed it perfectly and went up. Let's take a quick peek at the line of scrimmage. The top of your screen, you just see the hand. Dexter Manley eager to get to the quarterback. Just moved far enough
Offside.
to head over the helmet.
Number 72, defense, first down.
Joe Manley from Oklahoma State, who has been outspoken about his predictions in this game. 1983 version of Joe Namath.
They say he gets better every play. He has really come on this season. Great speed. He can run a 4.5, 4.600 for a man that size. That's tremendous.
First down and 5. Woodley. Out of bounds and taking that one giant step to gain another yard. Does Woodley? Juris White bumped him out. Close to a first down for Woodley on the scramble.
Woodley wanting to throw that football, elected to run, and a fascinating play on the sideline. It looked like he was out. He realized he had to get more for a possible first down and lunged with that final step. Got very close to the marker. In fact, they're going to measure it.
Time remaining, 3:35, third quarter.
Don Shula would love to be able to control the football, get some more points on the board here. It is a first down as Woodley was able to steal an extra yard and a half with that giant step. Don Strock standing behind Shula. Been Shula's ace in the hole for a long time. And one of the things that Shula says about Strock, not only is he willing to play, but he's also a great help on the sideline. Let's watch the play by Woodley, though. Woodley, a great runner. Perhaps as fast as any player on the team. Now watch him as he goes to the sideline, jumps over the top. Now the step. Smart football.
With another yard and a half in the first down. It's been Woodley throughout the playoffs, all 4 games. Strock has not taken a snap other than to hold on conversions and field goals. Franklin is hit hard at the line of scrimmage by Dave Butts, and when you run into the 295-pound Butts, you often don't move anywhere but back.
Dave Butts has been a pillar of strength for these Redskins all year. Reads the run, reacts about as well as any man in football. Watch him here. He just slips by Taves, No chance for Taves there as Butts is in the backfield. Actually did not wrap his hands on Franklin, but hit Franklin so hard that Andre had nowhere to go.
Lost a yard, 2nd down 11. Butts, a 7E width on his shoe. He could stamp out small brush fires with those feet. Woodley to Cephalo. Intercepted by the Redskins. Murphy at the 5-yard line. Murphy, who had 2 during the course of the year and led the Redskins with 7 last season.
Mark Murphy has a way of being in the right place at the right time. You saw the congratulations from Pettibone on this sideline, from his defensive teammates. Chance for you to watch number 29 in action. Quick read on the play, but it's his alertness to the bouncing ball that gives him the interception here. The ball hit right there by both the receiver and the defender, but what a great athletic maneuver by number 29, Mark Murphy.
Vernon Dean was the man who made the play. Riggins, he was staggering forward, and when he went down, there wasn't a Miami uniform between Riggins and the goal line.
Let's go back to that earlier play and watch Vernon Dean, number 32, one-on-one in coverage with Cephalo. Cephalo turns him around. Dean covers tremendous ground to get back and bounce that football. And again, the great interception by Murphy.
Riggins 9 yards on the 1st down carry, 2nd and 1. 17-13 Miami leading Washington with 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, and there's the 1st down for the Redskins as Riggins powers straight ahead. Ernest Roan made the hit.
I'm talking to the 2 Blackwood brothers who never shy away from a little physical action. I asked them about whether they were thinking about tackling John Riggins. They said, that's the kind of thing you don't think about. You just go up there and do it.
No, if you think, you might become sensible.
That's why you might not even go up there, Dick.
You might say, take me out.
Yeah.
Redskins send Walker, the tight end, way out to the right. Now the other tight end, Warren, moves to anchor the line, and they bring Brown in motion. Theismann batted in the air. Almost a touchdown for Kim Bocamper. Oh, my.
Joe Theismann playing defensive back on his own pass as it was batted into the air. Bocamper, a former linebacker, now playing in the defensive line at defensive end, has had a tough day today. But watch him here as he almost comes with a big play. Theismann cannot get the pass off. Rolls back against the grain. The batted ball there. Now watch Theismann go up and knock it out of the hands of Kim Bocamper. And Bocamper said, it was my touchdown.
Great play by Theismann. As it appeared, Bocamper indeed had 6. Zonka said when they first signed Bocamper that he'd make a good fullback, and he was trying to do just that then. Look at this play. Clarence Harmon has a 1st down at the 30-yard line. That was the Redskins' 30th rushing play of this game. And look what they do when they run the ball 30 times. They're 21-2 in the last 30, 0-7 rushing under. Of course, if you're losing a game, you aren't going to run it as much as throw it. But if you believe in that statistic, then there's high hopes for the Redskin faithful.
Unfortunately, if you look at the scoreboard, they're still down by 4. They'd love to turn this drive into points.
They began back at the 5 on the Murphy interception. 1st down at the 30. Riggins.
Whoa.
Right into Baumhauer's grasp. Maybe a yard gain. Baumhauer, who has a parrot, Ralph, said, does he talk? He said, yeah, he talks blue streak, but it's all in Spanish. He says, I've got to take a course so I can understand what he's saying to me.
Chance to look at the action in the pits as Baumhauer manhandles Keith Bostic, number 53, stands him up, and then takes Riggins on. That's a tremendous play by the nose tackle, Bob Baumhauer.
Riggins still got almost 2. Flanker screen to Brown, and he's out of bounds at the 36. It'll be 3rd down and about 4. As Theismann looks at the clock, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter. 2nd largest crowd in Super Bowl history, 103,667. The other, of course, also a Rose Bowl crowd for Super Bowl 14 when Pittsburgh defeated the Los Angeles Rams. 103,667 settling in fourth quarter. Miami 17, Washington 13. The Redskins a critical 3rd down and 4. They have the first down and more. Don Warren to the 46-yard line. And Warren injured an ankle in the process.
Warren down on the field. That would be a loss. He certainly has played well. A quick look at ground level. That pass that picked up the first down, as you see the pain that Don Warren's in. A lot of shifting going on by the offense for the Washington Redskins. Giaquinta right there, number 30, coming out. But watch Warren, just finds a little opening in the zone right there. Blackwood, Lyle Blackwood, 42, coming up. 40, Mike Kozlowski coming over. But they could not get there in time to knock the ball away.
Don Shula, the 4th winningest coach in NFL history. Hallis, Lambeau, and Landry, the other 3 in front of him. Joe Gibbs, in his 2nd year, the NFL Coach of the Year. Riggins, helping Gibbs to be a very successful coach, crosses midfield. He's short of the first down at the 46 of Miami. The Redskins using a lot of motion on their offense.
Dick, maybe we can show you one of the reasons that they're doing it. Now watch Brown at the top of your screen. Charlie Brown's going to come inside, and then he'll turn around and go back against the grain. He's forcing changes in the defense, forcing the Miami defense to call new signals, change their defense. Now let's look at it again, a different kind of motion. Warren coming across and lining up. Now you'll see another tight end right there, Rick Walker, going in motion. All of those moves force changes for Miami's defense.
Riggins flashing off right tackle, and I believe he has the first down. He needed to get only to the 44-yard line. Don Warren working on his ankle. Appears to be okay. He's been replaced by Clint Didier, who at Portland State was the top receiver for Neil Lomax, the successful young quarterback of the St. Louis Cardinals. First down for Washington.
The assistant head coach to Joe Gibbs, a man by the name of Dan Hennings, spent some time on Shula's staff in Miami. And I'm sure he's had quite an input into the game plan today. I'm sure he knows the kind of signals that Arnsparger calls and when they're called. And I think all of the movement, all of the motion has been designed to work on those signals to complicate Arnsparger's own plan.
Here's a flea flicker. Theismann going deep for Garrett. Intercepted right at the goal line by Lyle Blackwood. Now they'll say they're going to mark it at the 1-yard line. Well, you couldn't get a better kick than that. But Blackwood picks off the second Theismann pass. And for the Dolphins, who led the league in interceptions this year, they've got now some 14 interceptions in the playoffs.
One of the things that you must respect this Miami defense for is the fact that they are rarely fooled on that kind of play. Charlie Brown, number 87, blazing down the field, but the defense had read the play perfectly. They get a little bump right there from Gerald Small, 48. He could have been called for that. But it's Lyle Blackwood, number 42, who leaps in the air, does a beautiful job coming down, and even though he goes into the end zone, they'll mark it at the point that he caught the football.
Now Riggins with a concentration on him. Theismann had to hurry, and the double coverage downfield on Garrett. Theismann got gunning and looking for that go-ahead score. So it remains 17-13 Miami. Turnovers are even. The Dolphins' Woodley has not completed a pass this second half. Gives to Franklin, and he gets only a yard or two. Mark Murphy coming up to support the defensive line with the tackle.
And Dick, the kind of football that we expected to see throughout this game has really materialized here in the second half. The score relatively high in the first half, but not much here in the second half.
Well, the Redskins, no question, have moved the ball more effectively, although they still trail. Remember, they were stopped at the 8-yard line when they did not have a timeout, and were so very close to at least a field goal. And here in this third quarter dominated the play, and Woodley has the one big pass, and that's been the difference. Otherwise, 3rd and 11 and not much at all. Franklin gets only to the 4-yard line. Third down and 6.
But something should be said about the kind of plays called for Woodley. Shula has not asked him to throw the ball. Dave Butts having a great game for Washington, coming off the ball. That's Stevenson trying to move him, but Stevenson no match for the 295-pound Butts, who uses Stevenson to fill the hole.
Woodley with less than 100 yards passing, and he got 76 of those early in the game. A touchdown pass to Jimmy Cephalo. Other than that, the Redskins have all but shut him out. 3rd down and 6. Do you gamble with a pass? Yes, from his own end zone. Now goes deep into double coverage, and no flag. Nat Moore running into double coverage of White and Murphy, and they timed their hit apparently at exactly the right time. Woodley again in a slump the second half.
Woodley being given a lot of time to throw the football here. Washington elected to go with the 4-man rush, drop everyone back. They got good double coverage, but Woodley almost snuck this pass over the top. Butts getting double teamed at the line of scrimmage. They didn't want him to get a piece of it. Stevenson coming over to help. They finally knocked him on the ground.
Tom Orosz deep in his own end zone to take the snap from Kuchenberg. Milnes back at the 45 of Miami. Orosz a good kick. Milnes at the 45. 40. And flags down as Milnes is tackled at the 37-yard line. Clarence Harmon appeared to hit someone from behind. 41-yard kick by Orosz. Remember, he had the big kick last week from deep in his own end after having a rough day. His longest kick came when Miami needed it most.
But you see him testing his leg, and I'm sure that groin pull is still bothering him. And of course he did that because he was asked to kick. They told him, you got to get ready, you may have to kick off. Interesting, Dick, he said he would like to have kicked off straight ahead, but it'd been so long since he'd locked his ankle that he had to kick soccer style, and that was what created the problem.
Illegal block, number 38 on the return. 1st down, timeout.
That's a penalty we've seen so much of during the course of this past year on a kick return, using the hands above the waist. Redskins, instead of starting at the 36 of Miami after the 10-yard penalty, will begin from their own 48. They trail by 4, Merlin Olsen, and of course gave up an easy 3 at the end of the first half. Riggins, meanwhile, is approaching the 100-yard mark, and he's going to be close with that run to the Miami 45-yard line.
In Washington, when he runs the football, they blow a diesel truck horn. They call him the Diesel. Well, he's earned that kind of respect from this Miami defense today as he stacks up 100 yards in rushing.
100 yards for Riggins, only the second man to run against that Miami defense for 100 yards. The other was Mark Van Egan for New England in that snowplow game. Riggins again gets the call. So 4 consecutive games of these playoffs, he's run for 119, 185, 140, and Riggins over 100 yards again today. No one's ever done that.
In spite of all that rushing yardage, Dick, they need some more points. They're still down by 4, and we have to look back at the pass that was completed at the end of the first half. A pass that cost Joe Theismann and the Redskins a chance for a sure 3 points, or a relatively short 3 points.
3rd down and 2. Riggins out, Harmon in. They give it to Harmon, and he slams forward. Second effort. That's going to be close to a 1st down. Kind of a startling statistic. When Riggins just ran for 100 yards today, that's the first time an NFC runner has run for 100 yards in a Super Bowl game. Baumhauer was the man to make the tackle, and they're going to measure for a 1st down.
I don't believe they're going to measure. They're simply going to say it's going to be a 4th down, and they'll put in the big man as Coach Joe Gibbs elects to gamble here. He's going to go for his 1st down. There they go. Otis Wansley, 39, comes in to block. 3 tight ends in the game. Walker, Didier, Warren. The power back, Riggins. Got enough horses to pull a wagon in there, Dick.
Ball is at the 42 of Miami, so this could be a play they talk about during the offseason. If Miami stops the Redskins, they've forsaken the punt to try to pin Miami deep. They're going for the 1st down. And the Dolphins call timeout. Now, after seeing their honest intent to go for the 1st down, Bill Arnsparger wants to talk it over with his defensive unit. Like a couple of expectant fathers, Shula pacing the sidelines, Gibbs irritated.
There's Bill Arnsparger. Of course, he's made his defensive call. Let's see who'll win this battle of strategy.
Riggins He's going to go all the way. Unless Blackwood can catch him, and he can't.
What a tremendous play. But the key to this play was motion. The motion man coming across and turning around. Don McNeil, cornerback, running with him, slipped and fell. His responsibility to get back to the outside to contain Riggins. He could not get there until the last second. Riggins ran through an arm tackle and carried it all the way into the end zone.
John Riggins, the 7th man to run for over 100 yards in the Super Bowl, the first from the National Conference, and he caps it off with a 42-yard touchdown on a 4th and inches. And now the try for point by Mosley.
Let's see if we can see McNeil slip. Now he'll be coming across at the bottom of your picture. There, whoops. There he is right there. He's coming back into your picture. He got back late and just barely got his arms around the waist of John Riggins. You can't tackle Riggins high, and you can't tackle him with just arms. You've got to get some bodies on top of him. Watch him run right through this tackle and on into the end zone.
So the star of these playoffs, Jack Kent Cooke, isn't the only one who loves Riggins. The Redskins lead by 3. Bolton Walker, he returned one, 98 yards. He's at the 9. He's not going to go far this time. The Redskins stop him at the 22 and steal the ball in the process. But Charles McDaniel going into the end zone, but the ball was whistled at back at the 22-yard line.
Dick, let's go back to that play and watch Don McNeil as he comes across right here in the middle of your picture. Now watch what happens to him when the motion man turns to go the other way. Look what happens to McNeil. Now McNeil gets up off the ground and is quick enough to get back into the play, but only to get a handful of Riggins, and that's not enough.
And that's the completion of the longest touchdown run in Super Bowl history, 43 yards. Not the longest run. Tom Matte went 58 yards in Super Bowl III, but not for a touchdown. Riggins gassing up on the sidelines with 0-2, and now it's Miami. Franklin climbing ahead to the 25-yard line. Neil Olkowitz on his 27th birthday. The middle linebacker, number 52, to make the tackle.
And now the pressure even more shifted to the shoulders of the big men in the pits. Miami will try and hammer it out. You've got to look for Shula to try and make Washington respect the run again. Try and hit the ball deep, but they have not had success with the passing game here in the second half.
That's an understatement. Merlin Woodley has been shut out in the second half. A reverse to Harris, and he has some blockers, but no one got number 55, Kaufman, and he slows him down at the 26-yard line. Mel Kaufman, 2 Dolphins ran by him, and Harris gains only a couple.
4 substitutions into the game as they anticipate pass by the Miami offense. Mel Kaufman coming off. He'll be replaced by Monty Coleman, number 51. Kaufman reacting quickly to that reverse. Got outside, missed the tackle, but had plenty of help from his friends to keep it from getting away from him.
One of some 28 free agents on this Redskin team. Kaufman, 3rd and 5, Miami. Incomplete. A flag is down. We'll see if the Redskins were offside. Cephalo, the intended receiver.
An all-out blitz as Mark Murphy screeched to the inside, but the penalty is against the Miami Dolphins. They'll refuse it. They'll force them to punt the ball away.
Redskins have dominated the second half, and they have held Miami's offense to only 30 yards and lead 20-17, and they're about to get the ball back.
Jarris White over to say no, we don't want it.
Number 60, offense. 3rd down again.
Third
They
down.
took the penalty?
No, they didn't have a choice.
Oh, that's right.
False start. The play was whistled in.
I was looking away up here. I was saying, wait a minute. But they don't have a choice on that one.
So third down and a long 10. Woodley is 0 for 7 in the second half. Out of the shotgun. For Harris, incomplete. Harris had trouble with his footing, and he hasn't gotten up yet out the 47-yard line.
I think he's all right, but he took a shot there. Woodley trying to loft the ball over the top. A pattern that sent Harris downfield and then cut back to the sideline. And Orris is going to try and kick it away. He has not been able to kick the ball well today, Dick.
Nelms is back at the 40. 8 minutes and 58 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Still a field goal game, but the Redskins certainly not only have momentum, but have dominated. Orris takes his time and then sends a short kick anyway to Nelms. 50, 45, he's all the way to the Miami 41-yard line. That's a new Super Bowl record for Nelms, his 6th punt return. And Don Strock, he has not played in the playoffs for Miami during the course of the year. The cry in the Orange Bowl was Wood Strock. If Woodley couldn't do it, Strock often did.
Shula has complete confidence in him, and of course this game is made to order for him. It's become a passing game for Miami. They're not winning the battle in the pits. They're going to have to go to the air.
First they have to stop Riggins. And it seems that Riggins is a better runner in the fourth quarter as he wears down the defenses with those charges. Gordon made the tackle, but not until Riggins added another 6 yards to his total.
He amazes me, Dick. Those are not young legs. He just keeps charging.
33-year-old John Riggins, the Kansas farmer. 2nd and 4, clock running to the 8:20 mark. The Redskins leading for the first time in the game, 20-17. Riggins again.
Ooh.
Burrowing for what appears to be close to another first down.
The Hogs moved that whole Miami defense back about 3 yards on that play, and then Riggins just helped carry the stack a little further on his own.
Rome makes the stop.
John Riggins. Super Bowl record for rushing is held by Franco Harris of the Steelers, 158 yards. And Riggins is only a handful away, 5 yards from that total now.
And of course, with the battle in the pits going their way, Joe Gibbs will continue to have Boss Hog, Joe Bugle, tell his troops to eke him out some more in there.
3rd and less than a yard.
Well, the Hog is not exactly a peacock, but a lot of folks, important folks in the nation's capital, have been wearing those T-shirts. They're liable to really go in a hurry this week, the way that line is moving back Miami's defense.
Dick, certainly in Washington, Ronald Reagan is president, but if Washington wins, Riggins may be king.
Yep, 3rd down and a yard. Remember the last time in short yardage, Riggins went 43 yards for a touchdown. Riggins again has the first down at the 30-yard line. And the clock continues to run. 7:25 left.
Otis Wansley, number 39, going to lead Riggins up into line. Watch him now. He's one fine blocker. Riggins right on his tail, driving up inside. A chance for you to see the block. Watch it right here as Wansley just levels the linebacker, Ernest Roan, knocks him right flat on his back. And Riggins takes advantage of that kind of blocking to pick up the first down.
First down at the 30. Less than 7 minutes left. Riggins again. And the tireless fullback of the Redskins on his 34th rush. He has been active in more than 50% of his team's plays today. And with that, he has just set a Super Bowl record of 162 yards. No question about the big man in this game has been the same big man in the playoffs, John Riggins.
They've taken advantage of Kim Bocamper, number 58, but they also run over number 73, Baumhauer, on this play. Bostic doing a good job, but it's Jacoby on the outside who's just using his size advantage to power over the top of Bocamper.
Riggins up the middle. For one of the few times today he stopped cold. It does seem to me that when you get Riggins off tackle, that is where he feels most comfortable. And of course he has big tackles blocking the way. Stark at 6'5", 260 on the right side, and Jacoby 6'7" and 295 on the left side.
And when they need the yardage, they need it desperately, they've tended to go to that left side. Going in behind number 66, Jacoby, and number 68, Russ Grimm.
Standing ovation for Riggins as they announce Super Bowl record, most rushes, most yards. Timeout called by Washington's Joe Theismann on 3rd down and 2. He doesn't feel comfortable without Riggins in that huddle with him.
Let's look at the run that broke the record as he goes right up into the middle, and ironically one of the worst runs of his day, picked up only a fraction of a yard, and yet it was enough to take him over the top.
5 minutes and 31 seconds left. Now the pressure on Miami's defense. They have to think about stopping the Redskins and holding them to at least a field goal. If Washington should march it in and score, then Miami needs 2 scores to win today, and time is running out on Don Shula.
Don Strock continues to warm up on the sideline, and I'm sure that Shula is thinking aerial attack as he gets into the game. This man is thinking get the ball between the uprights. Mosley, I talked to him the other day, said he's out of his slump, feeling better about himself. Of course, after that great run he had earlier in the year, I suppose it was natural that there would be a letdown.
The Rigonomics today, 35 rushes, 162 yards. Mosley hoping that it's an extra point try that he'll be called to perform.
Dick, it's interesting that the first addition to the Hogs Club, their exclusive fraternity, was John Riggins. After he'd broken the record down in Tampa, they said, you finally earned the right to be in this club. They'd let the tight ends join because they proved themselves, but those are the only ones that belong. Nobody else.
No good-looking quarterbacks or wide receivers. Inside handoff and another first down as it's Clarence Harmon. Harmon gives the Redskins 4 more downs and the clock running, 5:15 left. And Washington just may put too much pressure on Strock. He may not have enough time to be the relief pitcher today.
In the first half of this game, Don Strock spent his time on the sideline, talking to Don Shula, taking his clipboard, keeping track of things, trying to keep in the game, eliminate plays as he watched them. He says he eliminates plays from the plan that he knows will not work. So when he gets in there, he has an idea of what will go. He'll need that knowledge in this game.
Leading by 3, Riggins slips, still gets up and gets a yard or 2. Boy, the punishment that he has taken and he has dealt out. But when you think of the superlatives, a man having a great running day and he's approaching 40 carries, the kind of punishment his own body is taking.
Well, he loves to carry the football. Interesting, he does not like to block. He said it takes more energy out of me to block than it does to carry the football. I'd rather carry the football 40 times than block 20 times and carry it 20 times.
Riggins comes out. Uwe von Schamann. And that Miami bench quiet. 2nd down and 9. 4:06, 4:05 left. And it's Harmon. They try to catch Miami looking for the pass, but read well by Baumhauer and Brzezinski. It'll be 3rd down and about 9.
The strategy here would be apparently not to make a mistake, stay in the middle of the field. If they have to take the field goal, get the 3 points, force Miami to score 7 to go ahead on the scoreboard.
Mosley, it'll be well within his range if they do try the field goal. In one of the season-ending polls, was voted the NFL Player of the Year for his tremendous kicking.
Let's see whether Theismann will throw this one. He will.
On 3rd down and long. Rolling. Looking. It's Brown. He's inside the 10.
I think he's got the first down.
Going to be close. See where they mark it.
Again, the running ability of Joe Theismann makes this play possible. It looked like he would have had a chance on the run to make that first down. Rolling out strongly to that side. Charlie Brown has a one-on-one situation on Gerald Small, number 48. Watch him coming back inside here. Now he'll break outside. Theismann running with him. That's almost a pick play for the two defensive backs. Charlie Brown able to get enough yardage to pick up the first down.
First and goal at the 9-yard line. So the top defense in the National Football League, the Miami Dolphins, are being run over by Riggins in the second half, and here he comes to the 6-yard line, and the clock is running again with 3:13 left. Joe Gibbs and the Washington Redskins, a team that lost its first 5 games under Gibbs a year ago, and then have put together a remarkable string, a team made up of players selected free agents, those who were available through waivers that no one else wanted. And indeed, the spirit of the team was glad to be underdogs today. That's what they feel about themselves as a unit. They played that way and played so very well. 2:45 left from the 6. Riggins stopped at the 6-yard, fumbled the ball, and Miami, was he down?
He was down.
Roan came up with a football, but after Riggins was down, and look who was on him, Theismann, who made a maybe the biggest defensive play of the game when he had a pass deflected and he knocked it away from Boatcamper. Would have been a sure Miami touchdown.
Joe Gibbs breathing a little sigh of relief over there as he realizes that they have dodged a bullet. Riggins rarely fumbles the football, and this one does not pop out until John hits the ground. Well, maybe we'd better look at that. The official's ruling it's down, and the official had a good view of that play. A second look at it. You can check it for yourself. Leg on the ground. Very tight. Another look at it.
Oh, well, his knee was down. His knee was down when he fumbled the football.
Dick, I hate to argue with you, but I think maybe that was a fumble. And I'm sure that Miami will look at that one many times on their projectors. But the official did have a good angle. We'll give him the credit for that.
And we'll look at it again. Is his knee down when he loses the football?
If the ball bounces loose as he hits the ground, it is not a fumble. But that is the question. I don't believe it is. I think the ball is out before his knee hits the ground.
That Braves on the warpath. 2 minutes to go. 20-17. Washington leads Miami. Joe Theismann and John Riggins, the offensive spear throwers and spear carrier. 3rd and goal from the 7. Theismann. Will he run it? No. He throws it for a touchdown. Charlie Brown.
And Dick, that's the final stage in Washington's game plan. Riggins right, Riggins left, throw to a Smurf.
Mosley kicks it through, and with 1:55 left, the Washington Redskins lead the Miami Dolphins 27-17. Charlie Brown hanging on to the souvenir. He had 8 touchdown catches during the course of the year to lead the Redskins and earn a trip to the Pro Bowl as a veritable rookie.
And that, of course, the planned rollout by Theismann gave him a little extra time for Charlie Brown to get open. And what about the reaction of the quarterback, Joe Theismann? I think we can predict that.
He had to wait for the official's call, a bit delayed. Was he in bounds?
And Dick, I think the ruling was that he was knocked out of bounds, that his feet would have come down in bounds had he not been knocked out by the defensive man.
Yeah, speaking of knockouts, the Dolphins aren't out on a count of 10, but they're certainly on one knee with a count at about 8. because they have only a minute 55 seconds left, and they have to score twice.
And of course, that time-eating drive, most of it on the ground. Riggins, behind his fellow Hogs, really stole the clock away from Don Strock and Don Shula.
And they've just scored on that pass against the toughest team to score against throwing the football in the NFL this year. So they have proven themselves, especially in the second half, totally dominating the game. And now it shows on the scoreboard. Walker deep. Bolden Walker, 98-yard touchdown, one of the big plays for the Dolphins in the first half. And he went exactly through that avenue. He's out to the 35-yard line. Walker will write his name into the Super Bowl record book with that return. His total yardage now 181 yards today. He erases Larry Anderson's name, the Steelers' fine return man of 3 years ago. Don Strock is the quarterback. And for the Dolphins, they not only have to get a touchdown, they have to somehow get the ball back and get at least the 3 to tie. Riggins, 181 yards, outgaining the Dolphins in total yards. Washington almost 2-1. Former President of the United States, Jimmy Carter. Diggerito. His first carry today, and the Redskins, as they have been most of the second half, ready for everything. A short gain, Tony McGee, and for the pass rush. Of course, the Dolphins figuring that Redskins would look past, hope to catch them off guard, but it was a gain of only 4. Strock, the veteran from Virginia Tech. Down the middle. Intercepted. Yes, Tony Peters. No, now they say he trapped it. He trapped it. Peters from Oklahoma. From Cleveland Brown diving, trying to pick off that pass. Intended for Jimmy Cephalo.
Dick, we looked at the equation early in our pregame. We looked at it again at the top of the show. If Riggins could run, if Miami could not shut him down, the balance of power would turn in Washington's favor. And it certainly has in this second half.
Down for Strock and the Dolphins. He can't hit Diggerito. And now it's 4th down, and with this play, if Miami unable to come up with first down yardage, the Redskin fans will start singing that fight song.
John Riggins, what a tremendous performance for him today. He did everything they asked of him, Dick. Stopped a few times in the first half, but came back when the going got tough, rooted in behind his Hogs. You know, they say that the name Hog implies that you just get down there in the mud and get the job done. And the Hogs have done that today.
They've rooted it out. Now Strock looking for a play that will keep the ball in Miami's grasp. He doesn't get it, and that'll do it. Now for the Redskins, they need to only consume a minute and 12 seconds, and the Super Bowl rings will be theirs.
Let's look quickly at some of Riggins' performance from the game, from earlier action. Chance to see what John Riggins has meant to this team today. Run right there through the arms of tacklers. He's been able to break tackles all day long. And that, of course, the key for this Washington Redskin offense. Able to dominate the clock and finally the scoreboard.
Redskins take over at the 39-yard line. Riggins accepting the congratulations and offering them along the sidelines. Unquestionably the most valuable player in this game. Clarence Harmon in his stead is to the 36-yard line.
Miami calling a timeout, but I'm afraid it's futile now. 1:06 left on the clock. It's academic for Don Shula and his fine Miami Dolphin team. Bill Arnsparger, #1 defense in football, but not strong enough today to stop the power running of mighty Rizzo.
It's former Redskin Ron Saul, whose twin brother Rich Saul played for the Los Angeles Rams along the sidelines, and there is.
That's Rich right with him. As a matter of fact, they call him Ron Saul. They call him Grandpa Hog. He's the oldest member of that Hog group.
1:06 remaining. The Redskins, a remarkable story, a team that has been put together with some Outstanding choices by Beathard, finding people who were not wanted by others, putting it together under Joe Gibbs' leadership, this young coach of the Redskins, Harmon, to about the 33-yard line, and a city that's hungry for its identity, its own identity. The nation's capital, Washington, D.C., always trying to dig out of problems, and that comes with the territory. And from the president right on down to the fellow who cleans out the stadium at RFK, how this has pulled that city together.
And Dick, when they stop to analyze the performance today, I'm sure that much of the credit will go to Dan Henning and Joe Gibbs for the brilliant design of this package. Not only the power running and taking advantage of what John Riggins was able to do with his body, but the clever way they used motion, the way they used the Smurfs in this game today. What a tremendous play.
The announcement now, it's official, the most valuable player, Super Bowl 17, John Riggins. Hell, games, even big ones, come and go. Scores are forgotten. Somehow you always associate, once that name is in print, performance indelible. John Riggins will be remembered in Super Bowl history for his remarkable performance today. Has a first down, and with that goes any faint hope of the Miami Dolphins. Riggins, during the regular year, gained 553 yards. In the playoffs, he's gained over 600 yards. In the 4 money games of the playoffs, Riggins gained more yardage than he did in all 9 games of the regular season. And he had gone to Gibbs, and he decided at 33 that he said, hey, give me the ball. It was that simple. He didn't talk much to anyone, the press, the coaches, maybe his teammates. Give me the ball. Gibbs says, you've got it, and the Redskins will take that right home along with some very expensive rings. 15 seconds left. John Riggins, the MVP, Joe Gibbs, the NFL Coach of the Year in his 2nd season. Hail to the Redskins. Braves on the warpath. Victory for old D.C. Well, the Hogs and the Smurfs. It indeed will be a fun celebration for the Washington Redskins and their star, John Riggins.
A game in which the victory was earned, not given. The Dolphins played well. They played good football. But the Redskins today were simply a better team.
And it's the Redskins who win it 27-17.
Congratulations are certainly in order to you, your Coach of the Year, Joe Gibbs, your General Manager, Bob Beathard, and this courageous bunch of Redskins players for coming back to beat an outstanding Miami team today. I think that you had the best record undoubtedly in the NFC, and you won 3 playoff games today. You were triumphant, giving our capital its first Super Bowl championship.
Thank you very much, Pete. Thanks indeed. Now, there's a few things I'd like to have answered. Do we keep this?
You do.
Forever.
Forever.
This is ours. Second, you said we had the best record in the NFC. My dear Pete, we've had the best record in the NFL.
All right. Hail to the Redskins. Head coach Joe Gibbs, just your 2nd season and already you are a winning Super Bowl coach. Your feelings?
Well, I just want to say that we're all thrilled. Part of this goes back to every Redskin fan back home that pulled us to help us get us here. I'd just like to say that I want to thank, first of all, God, second, Mr. Cook, Bobby Beathard, our fans back home, and our players. I'm just thankful for all those people in that order. God first. Thank you.
Coach, at halftime it was 17-10. The Redskins were down. The long Fulton Walker kickoff return for a touchdown. Momentum obviously on the Dolphins side. What did you tell your team?
I told our team that we've been in tougher spots than this. I said we were down 14-3 against earlier in the year against Philadelphia and came back to win. I said we've been in a lot of tight squeezes. I said there's a lot of things haven't gone right for us in the first half. I said they'll turn around. I said, I just got a good feeling about it, and they all told me the same thing. They said they did too. We went back out and just tried to stay loose and play football.
In your wildest dreams, did you ever think you'd dominate this Miami Dolphin team like you did this afternoon and tonight?
Well, I think that we've been, some people underestimate us because we're a total team. We've been kind of a tough physical team, and I think that's what you got to be to win the Super Bowl. You got to be tough and physical, and you got to take your chances. We tried to do that today and just play our game. That's all we wanted to do. I was a little surprised that we were able to move the ball as well as we did.
One of the biggest enigmas in the National Football League, John Riggins. I played with him in New York. He was crazy then. He is crazy here, but he had an unbelievable afternoon.
No, that's unfair of you, Mike. He's not crazy at all.
No, he's not crazy in that sense.
At all.
Mr. Cook's trying to say that John Riggins, very intelligent person when you get to know him. He sets his own path in life. He sure helped carry us. He's a very important part of our team, as a lot of other guys. This is a total team effort. All of our fans and everybody pulling together. Our family won this trophy.
Okay, Coach Chibbs, a very important phone call. Washington, D.C. on the line.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Coach.
Yes.
Coach Ronald Reagan.
Yes, sir, Mr. Reagan.
Listen, I just want to say congratulations to you and the team of yours. You know, last week when I was trying to be heard, and I know you couldn't hear me.
I can hear you fine now.
Well, I was just asking if maybe now that the season's over and like to help me up on Capitol Hill with some of the congressmen.
Yes, sir. We're going to come back and try and help you put together the budget and a few other things. Mr. Cook used to deal with a lot of money. He'll help you with that.
Okay. Listen, last week I was thinking of asking Riggins they changed the spelling of his name a little bit so that it had an EA in it. But now this week, would he mind if I changed my spelling so that it had an I and a couple of G's in it?
I don't think you'd mind that at all, Mr. President. I don't think you'd mind that at all.
Okay. Well, again, it was just great, and all of us back here are mighty thrilled and excited.
Yes, sir. It's a big day for us. All of the Washington fans sharing this. Each one of them has a little part of this trophy.
Well, fellas, really, you really earned it, and it was thrilling to watch, and God bless all of you, and congratulations again.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you.
You bet.
Yes, sir.
Coach Joe Gibbs, congratulations. Owner Jack Ken Cook, I know you have one thing to say to the Redskins fans.
It's simply this, that this magnificent team of yours has the privilege of playing for what, in my opinion, are the finest fans, not just in America, but on the face of this earth. Thank you, you marvelous Washington fans.
This NFL Films production has been brought to you by NFL Network. Watch the National Football League 24 hours a day on NFL Network.